Hello, my lovely viewers, and welcome to my channel. This is Strawberry Patches Podcast, and I'm your host, Marina, a Russian girl living in New Zealand with my little daughter, and my wonderful husband. Welcome to the 50th episode. Today we are going to talk about lots of yarn, bright colors, and this will be a very short episode because I don't have much knitting to show you, but I just wanted to pop in and say a big thank you to everyone who has been with me and who has been purchasing my yarn, and just to show you a little bit of update of how the life is going here down under. So I think last time I recorded was 3 or 4 weeks ago, and normally by now I would have whipped out like a sweater or a finished object for you to show, but sadly, although I have been knitting monogamously on one project only, I haven't finished it, so I'm not going to show any finished objects. I'm just going to go straight to the works in progress, and here it is. As you remember, I decided to take part in Hohi Locatelli's 2020 Fall Cal, which started on the 1st of September, and I dyed up some wool for it that I showed you in the previous podcast, and it's a stripy sweater pullover with, well, I will show you right now. But the thing is, it's a very interesting construction with lots of twisted ribbing in the front, and that took me forever. And also it's a 4-ply yarns that I'm using, and that's why it's probably taking forever as well. But nevertheless, I have finished one sleeve and I'm almost done with the other. So here it is. Of course, the ends haven't been woven in, understandable. I still have to make the neckline better. I will have to cast on some stitches and make some ribbing. And as you can see, it's very obvious on the camera as well that my darker yarn was 2 balls which were not the same, and that's why I striped them, which looks fine here. But because here the rows are very short, I decided not to do it, and you can kind of see that this part is a bit darker. And here is the first sleeve. So the back is exactly the same, and I actually love how it looks. I would have tried it on, but I have some really short needles here, and I don't want to mess up with the stitches. But so far, what I can tell you is that when I calculated with the positive is my size, I wanted it to be a bit more snug than the recommended ease that Hohi asks for or recommends. But now I'm regretting that I haven't gone for the ease that she wants you to use. This will be a bit more snug than what she's wearing in the picture, and I did so because I was afraid I wouldn't have enough yarn, and I had this dark color that I couldn't quite repeat, and I thought, oh well, maybe if I make it a bit smaller it will be fine. Anyways, I should have gone for a little bit bigger, because right now, of course, when it will be blocked, it will stretch more because this is superwash yarn. But right now, this has been blocked properly. But the sleeve is a little bit short, which actually, if it doesn't grow any bigger, I actually don't mind. What is it called? The bracelet length. I really liked it actually. And no, I don't want to try it on. I don't want to mess up with the stitches. I'm really, really liking the clever striping here because it makes the whole silhouette slimmer. And it is a lot of fun to work on the stripes. And even though this might seem a little bit tricky, it actually isn't, because the tricky part is only, well, picking up stitches here maybe can be tricky, and then grafting. I've learned to graft, and I don't know if it doesn't look professional. It isn't because I've just only learned to do it. Maybe I would have to stretch it a little bit more for it to become more harmonious, but it looks fine for me, for my taste. So I'm about 50%, no, 40% done with the sleeve, second sleeve, and then it's just to have a nice finish on the neckline, and then there will be a hem, which will be with the cuts on each side, and it will be just dark color, just ribbing. And hopefully by the next time I'll see you, it will be done and I'll be wearing it. And the weather hopefully won't be too warm yet, because we are now in spring, and on some days it was really warm, and we even went to the beach with my husband and my daughter. Oh, it was so much fun. The weather was sunny. There were lots of people walking their dogs as they usually do. Some people were even swimming, which is not unusual. There are some really, really, how can I say, trained bodies that don't mind the cold, and you can always see somebody swimming at the weekends. So yeah, I really enjoyed walking with my daughter over there, and we also made some walks in the parks when the weather was gorgeous. And it's just amazing. I really like it that over here, even though you feel like you are in the city, you have all the infrastructure, it's a bit spread out, especially in the area that we live. And outside my window there's lots of green and sky. I can see the sky now. I'm thinking back to all the other places I've lived in my life. I haven't been able to see that much happy green colors in the blue sky. And here we are lucky. And plus you sometimes see like a little mother duck with the ducklings on the parking lot or near in one of the parks, and sometimes a hedgehog or possum. It's really, really cool to be living in a place like that. And yeah, now I wanted to talk a little bit about the knit-along Cal that I've joined. There has been so many people joining it, and I've been overwhelmed with all the new messages that come every day into the Ravelry page, and I am really keen on starting the next pullover, which will be the Japan sleeves, which I'm thinking of starting on the 1st of October. Actually, I wanted to talk a bit more about all these knit-alongs because on the 1st of October as well, Lupine and Woolco are starting their Socktober, which they encourage everyone to knit a pair of socks during the month of October, and I think I'm going to join that as well. I think that would be really lots of fun. And I was thinking of knitting up with some of my hand-dyed yarn, and I already wound it up here because I have lots of questions from people asking me, okay, this skein looks gorgeous, but how will it knit up? Like, they cannot imagine how it's going to look when it's in a project. I always tell them that it's different depending on the project that you choose, because if it's a sock, then it's about 60 or so rows repeat, and that means that the colors will maybe pool and they will probably repeat more often. Whereas if you need like a fade cardigan or a sweater or a shawl with like a longer row, then it will be a totally different effect. And for that I'm thinking of using the same yarn in this colorway to make a shawl, which is actually another entry into the Hohifo Cal. I'm making a third storm shawl, and this I'm probably gonna start tomorrow my Socktober. So I'm going to cast on a pair of socks with this lovely yarn and hopefully finish it by the end of October. I don't know if that's possible. Anyways, as you might know, if you're following any of the other famous designers, that there has another knit-along, Mr. Knit-along or MCAL, has started by Stephen West. He does it every year, I think, and the idea behind this thing is that he doesn't tell you, you don't know what project you're making. It's a mystery. All he tells you are some clues at certain intervals, maybe weekly or I don't know how often they are. But he just tells you that if you want to follow subscribe or whatever, register, and then pick up your yarn, and he probably gives you a clue, like for example 3 dark skeins or 3 main colors skeins and maybe minis for pop of color or something. So anyways, I've been seeing lots of people making the lazy swatch, which is actually you take like a piece of cardboard and you wrap, for example, 10 wraps of each color to see how all of these colors will look together. And I think that's really smart to understand if you're mixing colors in a shawl, if they play together well or not. And yeah, I think it's a very fun idea, the Mystery Knit-along. But I know a person, Janine actually, hi if you're watching. So she told me that she's been making a shawl like that once, and the thing is that before you see the whole project, it's hard to understand which color will be showcased in what manner. So she was telling me that if she had known what the end product was, she probably would have chosen her colors differently, which is something that you don't think about when you are just keen on following this mystery thing that you go along, and everybody's making a clue, everybody's knitting to a certain point and at the same time, and then is showing the progress. Anyways, I think it's a lot of fun. Now, as I said, this will be a short episode. That's why I want to address the elephant in the room. First of all, I have to say that I have been overwhelmed by the love that I get from my New Zealand customers. My yarn, I did not expect to be selling this much right away, because I know there are other talented knitters, indie dyers here in New Zealand, which work with incredibly lovely yarn bases with tons of experience and such lovely color, how can I say, sense of color, that I thought, well, I'm just gonna try and see how it goes. But I've received some orders, some big orders as well, that have overwhelmed me, and I want to thank you so much for your love and support. And I also received some support from the other indie dyes, which is so unexpected and so lovely. And I wanted to especially thank Cindy from Nana Cindy Yarns. I have used her yarn before and I really loved it, and she has been so great and supportive. She's made some lovely comments about my yarn, and she also posted like a little shout out on her page, which I'm really, really grateful for. And yeah, I think she helped the people to know about me a bit more, and also made me understand that the yarn community, fiber community here in Auckland is absolutely amazing and very friendly and very supportive. I'm so lucky to be here. I keep telling that, but yeah, I feel absolutely privileged to be among such wonderful, kind-hearted people. Like, one of the orders that I got was going to go to charity knitters, and I can only imagine that somebody will get a special gift that will be using my hand-dyed yarn. And I'm really, really touched that people would, choose my yarn for such special occasions. I also was offered to be a trader at one of our Auckland get-togethers, which will be on the 7th of November, and I'm going to be a trader with some of my yarn. Also, Alana from the Lupine and Wool Co shop offered me if I want to be their dyer of the month, which is absolutely amazing. I just didn't, or I don't know if I have enough yarn to be able to do that yet, but I'm working on it, and I would really love to do that. I would be honored to do that. So yeah, I'm eternally grateful for all these opportunities that are coming my way, and everything seems to be working for the best. And my husband has been so amazingly helping and supportive, and He's working hard on the website, which will soon be live, hopefully. We've done some photo shoot today, and I just see it in the works, and it looks absolutely lovely. And hopefully soon I will be able to share this link with you, and you can go and check it out. So let's talk about this. This is not all the yarn that I have dyed. As I told you, I have had some orders, and some of them were as little as 1 skein, but some of them were like 10 skeins, 4 skeins. So maybe this minus 2 kgs, this is what I've been dyeing. But anyway, I have been absolutely crazy about speckled yarn on white or light base recently, and that's why I have been making this absolutely gorgeous skeins, which I think would be amazing for one skein shawl or a pair of socks. I can just see the socks that I or somebody would make out of this. That will be very happy socks. Then I have been playing with a very unusual color for me, which is this gorgeous orange. And the reason is that I decided to step out of my comfort zone a little bit, and I dyed up some of this orange, and it sold right away. And I thought, oh, I need to dye some more. So I have done these. I think they're represented very well. Today the weather is perfect for filming, so I think these colors are exactly what they are showing. And this is my merino nylon blend, 80% merino, 20% nylon. And if you are in New Zealand, the price is $30 plus postage. I still have these gorgeous ones. I think they would make a wonderful fade if you want to make that. Yeah, let me keep a couple of these. This would go together very well with this gorgeous pair. I decided to make them in pairs now. So these two have this pop of orange and darker pink. And as you can see, they match or kind of complement. They sing beautifully together, if I can say that. If you don't want the pink, oh, I thought I had more pink. It must have sold. I forgot actually. Yeah, must have sold already. The pinks I had more, and I made a post saying if they don't sell them, I'm so tempted to keep them to myself and need something, because this is gorgeous pink, absolutely lovely. Add more of this pink, and I can make some more of this. Is easy. Some more bright spring colorway with lots of spring colors. This is such a nice, squishy, lovely smelling merino. It's absolutely a delight. Then I wanted to reproduce these really lovely colors, and I think I sold 3. That's why I decided to make some more of this. My daughter seems to be really drawn to these ones. And my mother as well, actually. She's asked me to make her some mittens out of these. Now to the blues. I don't know if I showed you this skein in the previous episode, but this is another multicolored skein on a kind of like grayish base with lots of dark pops and neon pink and yellow with some green and blue, and I think it will be wonderful as well for a storm shawl. Would be nice, I think. Oh, I probably should make the storm out of that one. But anyways, this is my Lagoon colorway, which I'm so tempted to keep to myself as well. Sorry, I had to cough. The Lagoon colorway goes very well with this wonderful skein, and actually this is how this is actually the same colorway, and I dyed up this one on 100% merino base, so that I can use it for a shawl. And this is my sock base, which has nylon, which makes the socks more sturdy. And you can already see how different this skein like this looks in a ball, wound up ball. So when the socks knit up, they will look more like this. And the rest is all sort of the same, in the same color palette. And I was inspired to make it once I've done this really pale greens. I call it clear water, deep water. I have all these new names for almost each skein because they're all individual skeins and they are hard to repeat. And I'm very I was trying to recreate this. This is very hard. The lighter it is, the harder it is to recreate it. But yes, this is what I came up with in the beginning. This gorgeous color with this. And I think it's absolutely beautiful. With its pops of green and purple and paired with this lighter, it could be a really nice fade cardigan, sweater, shawl. Find your fade shawl. Could be really nice as well. So I was so in love with these colors that I decided to dye up some more for me for the Japan sleeves, for the second sweater for the Hohin fall cow. And these are just the same. They are not wound as beautifully because I know they're for me, but they're almost the same as the others, only on a different base. And I'm thinking to make the sleeve, because Japan sleeves is a sweater that has a sleeve, the lace panel along the sleeve. And I was thinking of making it with this light color, and then the rest would be stripes of this color. Or maybe I will omit the stripes because it will be harder with the stripes. We shall see. But yes, I dyed them for my own sweater. Then I have this gorgeous number, which is also on my merino, 100% merino base. And this is my way of marking them so I don't get them confused with the merino nylon. I've just posted them today to Facebook, to different groups that sell yarn, and on my Instagram, and people have loved it so much. So hopefully, if you want them, they're still here. And I was playing in around the same colors, and I came up with this lovely whitish skein that has the same green and purple, but also some of the pumpkin color that I have here. And this is a different one. I wanted to add some more warm colors into this one, but I think this could be a very, very tender shawl around your neck, which can be paired with, maybe not, maybe with some pink. Hold on. Maybe. I think it's not a bad idea. I also wanted to start and knit a little bit of knit along with my friend Olga. We want to make exactly same shawl by Truly Myrtle. And you know, when you're doing it with a friend, I think it helps you be more motivated to finish it and to see how exact same shawl that you just made looks in a different color. So I think I might actually do it in these colors. I kind of like it, and I've always wanted to make a pink shawl and to combine it with whitish. I might do that. I think this is it. I told her that I will dye up some yarn, but actually I'm very happy with these colors. I'm really curious how this is gonna look, and this is a one-of-a-kind skein. But if you really like it, contact me, and maybe I haven't wound them up yet and they can be yours. That's all the shop update. And over here, you might ask what is in here. I have been working a little bit more on the cardigan that I'm making for Lydia, my daughter. Oh, there's a sleeve. And it's from that fluffy yarn that I showed you before. But I haven't done much progress. This is the body. Maybe I have actually, but it's been a long time and I don't really remember. But anyways, it's in a bit of a mess right now. Here's the sleeve. I'm afraid it's not going to be finished, and when it will be finished, she will grow out of it. And this is still my fade neve sweater, which is still one sleeve short of being finished, and I haven't blocked it or haven't decided what I'm gonna do with it, but soon I will definitely do it. Everybody loves this color. I love it too. I think it suits me very well. And yeah, the last thing I remembered, one of my plans is not plans, but sort of an acquisition. I've asked my friend, lovely friend Cher, love you Cher, to make me project bag. As you might remember, I talked about her. She works at the New Zealand Fabrics and Yarn Shop here in Auckland, and they've had some gorgeous fabric recently from one of the New Zealand artists. And I fell in love with this fabric, and I knew that I would have to have it, but I also know that I'm not good at sewing, and I probably would never, if I bought the fabric, make the bag. So I sneakily comment on under the fabric post like, oh, if only I had a friend who could make a project bag. And of course, she was so kind that she offered to help, and she will be making not one but 2 project bags for me, which I'm so excited about, and I just cannot wait to see how they look in real life. So yeah, I will probably show it to you in the next episode, and I'm so happy to be able to help our local artisans and crafters like Cher and our fabric shop, and also this artist who has made this beautiful fabric. I wish I could show you right now, but I think it will be better if I show it to you next time. A little bit of an intrigue. Okay, the question for this episode is, what do you think about knit-alongs? And have you ever participated in a knit-along or a mystery knit-along? Are you participating in any of them right now? Are you making the shawl that Stephen West is making? Are you, as I, in the same boat with Hohi and a huge group of fans who are making all kinds of garments? Please let me know. I would love to know what your opinion on this is. And thank you very much for watching me, and I hope to see you very soon. If you would like to support me with thumbs up or subscribing, that would be awesome. I would really appreciate it. This is what helps me to keep these videos visible on YouTube. Thank you very much. Happy knitting, and love you all. Bye.